How do we feel about this hand? How do we feel about this hand on the play? Just voice Winota 5 lands. I know everyone's instantly going to be like, mulligan, mulligan, mulligan. I think it's closer than that, right? So I have basically 2 non-humans and a Winota, assuming this doesn't get magma sprayed. If I draw lands, I just lose on the spot. If I draw spells, my hand's probably great. Like 1 spell. I guess I'm supposed to mulligan this. My disdain for Elvish Mystic is high, though. It just always fucking dies. This hand is so much better. I'm so smart. Elvish Mystic is the best card ever. Forget everything I was saying. Probably a mirror, right? I don't care. I'm not going to think about it. I don't actually know if I'm supposed to trade 1 for 2. Since I know my hand is good, I guess the answer is probably yes, that I just do more damage. So they can Winota me. I think I'm just supposed to set up the big Winota, though. They could Winota Brutal Cathar this and I miss on a land, I guess. Okay, they're probably dead. God, these mirror matches are so skill intensive. Holy moly. Ban this shit. I don't care if it's the best deck or not. Fuck off. Okay, so I haven't played that many Winota mirrors. Let's see if I remember my logic. So Winota is basically the only thing that matters, which means that Running Dolly and Madcap Melee are high value, which means that there's potentially a world where I want to have safekeeping. But I'm pretty sure last time I concluded that it wasn't worth taking out cards for it. Like the other cards were high enough value. It does make voice seem a little bit better than it potentially should be. And then, like, the most important card to hit off Winota is obviously Huntmaster. It's Huntmaster and then Brutal Cathar, but it depends. Because, like, if your opponent has 1 Winota and you hit a Spellbinder, like, Catharing a random idiot sometimes doesn't matter if they have 4 mana, whereas, like, Spellbinding a Winota, even though they have a bunch of idiots, like, making it cost so much that... Okay, so I want all those humans. So that means I'm probably taking these out. I'm probably taking this out. Maybe take out a voice. I think I want 6 elves. Because they're not interacting with the elves. And then it has to be like more fables. Maybe. And how much do I want Innkeeper? Innkeeper's value goes down somewhat if your elf lives. So maybe I can take out an Innkeeper? Is Innkeeper better than Voice, though? Gives you more nut draws. I don't know. Could it even be better to take out some top end? The next Pioneer ban list is going to be rough. I don't know. I don't know when it's going to happen. I think it will happen probably within the next 6 months. My list as of now would just be iteration Winota, Lotus Field. I know everyone's like, Lotus Field's not even good. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Ban that shit. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's what I would ban. I think that would clean things up really well. And then you could sort of just reevaluate and see what decks end up being good. I wouldn't be surprised if you banned Iteration and the blue-red decks were still the best decks, which would mean it would have been a great ban, in my opinion. I'm playing a mirror. I have all good cards. I'm on the draw. I just need to draw lands. I actually think this hand's keepable. Like, in my mind, this is, like... I'm going to lose to Brutal Cathar, maybe, but this is sort of close to, like, if my hand was double Temple Garden Elf. Like, I think I would keep this hand. So I'm going to keep. Sort of just every card that I want, minus red mana. You have Elf. That's not it. Oh, no. Are we going to get punished for keeping a one-lander today? I don't think we have so far. They're probably going to ban Gruul Guildgate. Not even Simic Guildgate. Just Gruul Guildgate. No 2-drop. Fuck! God, that was so close to being nasty. Okay, if this was actually Temple Garden. Okay. What is their hand? I'm just going to get charioted next turn and die. Probably. Could draw red source. Oh. What the fuck? Okay. What the fuck am I hitting? I think Elf. This is so awkward. What the fuck? Okay, yeah, I have this thing. Pretty good. Okay, where's this day-night thing? Is it represented anywhere? So this, I don't even know how it works. So if they don't play a spell, these things flip, right? It's kind of awkward for me. What does this card do? Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals damage. I could just red cap this. I guess that's what I'm doing. This is such a weird fucking game. I just want another red land. Maybe I'm supposed to just null. Like, I think they have another Winota, but like, I could just nullify the Winota and then do my own Winota thing. I'll just do my own Winota thing here, but. Fuck. I just Winota, right? I get one hit for their one hit. Could have Rending Volley though. It's so awkward. I could play my Chariot. And then just Winota them. I have a fucking dog hair in my mouth. The problem is if I Rending Volley and they have another Winota, right? Because I think they have another Winota. My man is just so awkward. I could just Smooth Brain Jam. How bad is it if they have Running Volley? Not that bad, I guess. Fuck. God damn it. Okay, so now this is gonna hit the fucking Hunt Master, and then I'm gonna be sad, and maybe I die. The reason I left this back... Okay, this is the second one already. It has to be. The reason I left this back is... if they draw a way to kill this, so... Yeah, they hit. This is fine, though, I think. So I'm probably taking 6. Get rid of 4. I still think they have another Winota. They don't even have a Hunt Master. Okay, well, their hand just has to be so bad. Their hand has to be a Winota. Okay, we drew the nuts. I don't even think I played very well, but... It's a Winota mirror. You don't have to play well. You just have to draw the cards and play them, and your opponent has to not have the other stuff. So it's fine. Reserve an emblem. Okay, I'm stupid. I see it now. Sorry. I won! Yay! You guys are idiots. Your love of gates is acceptable, I guess. At least you don't love Winota. Like me, clearly. I do want to, like, actually work on some meta decks. Whereas in the past, I just sort of always just slammed garbage into leagues over and over again. Yeah. I think, like, the tier 1, tier 2 decks could definitely use work. I don't know exactly what to do with them, but, like, the blue-red deck is another, like, the Days and Doing style decks. Like, I think those decks could use a lot of work. Like, they're having great results, and that probably leads to people to believe that, like, they're just great. Just keep playing them. Use this list, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think they're just in a good spot in the metagame, and people aren't adapting quickly enough. Whatever, dude. I'm just keeping hands. We're just keeping hands. We got a hand, we keep it. Fuck it. Who cares? But this is like... This card just, I think, makes the elf so much less necessary. I think, for example, in mono green, you kind of have to have an elf. Like, if you don't have an elf, your deck is just so fucking bad. But I think the Winota deck's just good to go in 2 to 4, and then able to easily win games from that spot. Okay, Grease Fang. Probably need a Winota here. This is some passing ships bullshit. Like, to me, it seems like I wouldn't be surprised if there was the bans that I said or something similar to them, and then maybe this deck ends up being too good at some point. I doubt it will, though. Like, it doesn't fold, but you can just have Graveyard Hate. It's pretty reasonable against it, I think. Not gonna trade here. That card's just higher value. Yeah, I feel like the Grease Fang decks could also use some work. I wouldn't be surprised if like some bannings happen and then this deck gets bumped up to tier 1 from tier 2. Thanks for killing my innkeeper. I'm totally fine with that. Another spot where Celebrant's great, right? So like I get to have Chariot, I get to crew attack for 8, make it 2/2, and then I just have this Celebrant that they sort of have to kill. Like, they either have to kill the Celebrant or the Chariot, otherwise I get double Chariot triggers on my combat, and I get to untap all the cats that potentially even crew it. Don't turn 3 me. No, don't do it, please. Come on, my deck only turned 4s. I could turn 3, actually. Yeah, this is so fucking broken, dude. It's not fair. I would never put 7,000 power into play on turn 3 or 4. I would never do that. Why is this happening to me? Why am I so unlucky? Alright, we need to draw Winota. So we can draw Winota and then just blow up the Angels with Brutal Cathars. Maybe. Yeah. Bounces. Let's go. Quality gameplay, baby. Alright, in. Probably in. Do I want these? I think I'm willing to sack a land to blow up the thing that makes 15 power flyers with haste. I think I'm willing to do that. There. There it is. Okay. -1 elf. Kind of like the Fables, actually. Because I wouldn't be surprised if they end up with a bunch of removal. They're probably going to have Cage. So there's two approaches I think you can take from here. You can either board out Winota, because they're going to have a bunch of spot removal and Cage, or you can put in Skyclave Apparition. I don't really like Skyclave Apparition. I guess it's okay versus Fable, but they end up with like a 3/3 and a 2/2 if they kill it. I don't want safekeeping because they're probably going to have Cage. I think I just want my plan to be like removal some Winotas and just like mid-range beatdowns. Sometimes this deck can be slow to find the combo. Obviously, they just had like the turn 3 kill. Spellbinder's good. Do I want the Combat Celebrant shit? Maybe it's just minus a Fable. Could be minus a Voice even. I think the Chariots are good. Are there cards here that do anything that I'm not appreciating? I don't think so. Okay. Esper over Mardu, I refuse. I refuse to believe that's true. Fable's too good. And the Blood Creature's just great. But I don't know. Yeah, I think every Esper Greasefang deck I've ever looked at has looked like the worst deck in Pioneer. Like, historically, so my opinion for just, like, worst decks in Pioneer's history, it's like Mono Black Aggro, Esper Greasefang, and there's probably some other deck that I've looked at and been like, this deck is so bad looking. Holy shit. But Esper Greasefang always looks like a steamy pile to me. I think this is easy keep. We're short Winota, we have turn 2 Fable, potentially. We even have 1, 2, 3 if they kill the elf. This, I guess. I didn't board in the Skyclave, so doesn't really matter. I just don't like the Esper Greasefang decks are like trying to be controlled. I don't know. They don't make any fucking sense to me. They look so bad. The Mardu deck I think makes a lot of sense. But that's just me. So that's one guy. I was like, hey, 1 mana 2/1's fucking rule. You shut your mouth. I loved Glint. What the fuck was the name? There was like a 1 mana 1/1. Am I just gonna get turn 3 twice? This is silly. There was like a 1 mana 1/1 that you would use with Smuggler Copter to drain people. I don't care what they say. I'm willing to just be wrong, but I'm gonna say words. And the words I'm choosing to say is that Mono Black stinks. Fuck. I can't even beat this stupid Sky Sovereign. I think I have to take it. Alright, we need to notice that. Their hand's pretty nasty. Supplier's a good one. I don't even think the Esper decks play Supplier, but I'm not sure. You gotta take off the Gates colored glasses. What did I just block this thing? They have double deadly dispute? Sure, I block. I block with my 3-1 on your Stitcher supplier. Okay. I don't really think this... Like, it's attacking for 3, but I don't know if that clock is relevant. They just drew a fucking another 1. God damn it. I blocked with my 3-1 on a 1-1. Everything sucks. Ooh, that's a good card. It's gotta be this, right? Yeah. She's gonna find her land. So they could just have the Grease Fang. And I'll die, probably. But maybe the Winota's good enough. They could easily have, like, push. They probably have a way to interact with this now, so I think I'm dead. But I'm probably not dead if they don't have Grease Fang plus interaction. Okay. That's neither of those things. Shock, you really don't want to see that. Okay, you love to see that. So this is interaction. Alright. Am I still jamming just to get the voice trigger? I'm at 16. I'm going to take 15 in the air. I think it's just Combat Celebrant and Voice. And I hope to find another Winota, maybe. Goddamn weeb music. Whose fucking weeb music is that? I don't know. I just don't have it. I shock, dickbag. Aha, I only have 3 of these. I'm still gonna die. Why are you conceding? What's their hand? I feel like they could probably win if they draw a Grease Fang, right? I go to 1, they have blocker. This would have to miss, I guess. Okay, always lucky. Did anything change? I should have checked their graveyard more. Maybe these matter more than I think. They have Portable Hole. What do I think of Rakdos Sack? I don't think it's very good. I think if you're going to play a Rakdos deck, you should just play the mid-range deck. But I haven't really played much with or against it. I think I've played against it like maybe 2 or 3 times, and it's always just like kind of done nothing. I think it needs too many moving parts for things to come together, and then you just get punished because you just like, I don't know, you just have hands with like Cauldron Familiar and Witch's Oven, and your opponents cast Winota and do powerful things, and you kind of just do nothing. They just like chaining Time Walks together and casting Winota, and if you don't have the right thing at the right time, just like draining them 1 or 2 a turn isn't gonna matter. Also, Mayhem Delve's just clunky. Like, the decks are more condensed in this format, so just having this 3-drop that sometimes doesn't do anything is really bad. Okay. Do I want Skyclave Apparition? Let me think. Is having voice better than having like a safekeeping? Like, how relevant is it going to be when my voice triggers? I feel like this sideboard plan isn't good. I don't know what it's supposed to be, though. Maybe less elves? Whatever. It's just, like, okay, the reason I sideboarded this way, which I already said before, was because of Cage. Because their deck can just play Cage. Doesn't stop the Parhelion thing. It does stop the Winota thing. Okay. Kind of awkward, but I think a keep. I need like a Fable. See, this is a hand where I might just die to a Sky Sovereign. Or whatever. Just some random shit's gonna beat me. Like, they could just play blood creatures and attack me. That would be annoying. That's a blood creature. Chariot would be awesome. Basically any 3-drop would be good here. I think last league we had a few games where the mana was awkward, but the mana's been good so far. So we can stop the turn 3. I won't block. Ooh, God, that's so tempting. I can't. I can't, but I want to. I mean, it was a great draw regardless. My opponent had the turn 3, game 1, and game 3. It would appear they might. We've got interaction, so. Like they should be able to figure out that I have an interaction piece. Like it's just so unlikely that I need to stop. Okay. It's just so unlikely that like I have this elf and I'm not using my mana, but maybe they just have a way to get it back or something. So I think our plan kind of is coming together. I'll just have answers and try to grind. Did I board out the combat celebrants? Nope. You're savage. But I'm a savage too, so don't worry. Okay, what am I sacking? Okay. I guess mountain. I should have shocked, maybe. The nickel dime damages. I shouldn't have shocked, and I actually think I should have kept this in my hand. Because I have these 2/2s making me a bunch of mana. Okay. God damn it, don't grease make me 4 times in a row. Okay, it happens. Sure. I have to discard this, I think. So they can do it next turn if they have untap land. Oh my god. Fuck off. And I'm at 13. Okay, we got Winota. I can still just die. Yeah, I'm probably gonna die if they have a land. I think I'm just dead. What can I hit? Okay, they have to draw untap land. Oh my god, don't do it. Please, God, don't. These are Grease Fang, Can't Stay Away, or Untap Land. Yes! All it took was running volley, double red cap, sack my lands. Let's go. That was a crazy game. GG. Sideboard plan worked. They didn't have Cage, but we still just found a Winota off the Fables. It's surprisingly hard to sideboard with this deck. Like, it's very brain dead to play, I would say, for the most part. Like, every Magic deck has some decision trees and points where things can be a little more difficult, but like sideboarding, I just don't. I'm fairly confident that bringing out elves is good in spots where people have removal, but like I never know, because like these cards are both good versus removal, but like you just need to make room for sideboard cards. Innkeeper's also good versus removal, so is Chariot. And then I think the maybe the trickiest part is I just need to figure out how many humans I can have post board. Like, I think when I have 3 Winotas, I'll have 8 humans sometimes. But if I have 4 Winotas, I almost always want at least 9, I think. I just need smart people to tell me what to do. That's what I really need. This is a nice one. I don't need double white for anything, I don't think. Probably playing this next turn, almost no matter what, but... Alright, Brutal Cathar looking great. My hand looking great. You love to see it. Have you seen the white wing at the top of the challenge? I think I looked at the decks. We'll look at it really quick. I remember thinking that the giant killers looked good. But I think that like white-based aggro decks is just like kind of everything is just a bad Winota. And I think that like if you just like the plan of white creatures just shouldn't work versus like expressive iteration plus shocks, which is the format basically. Let me try to find it. It looks sweet, but I don't think it's... As someone who's tried, like, white aggressive decks multiple times in this format, it just never works. Like, since Bone Crusher Giant's been printed, it's been really rough. Okay. So this is it really quick. Triple Laganjo. It's kind of aggro, but Laganjo's really good. I think this card's, like, wildly unplayable. I think Soldier is... pretty fucking bad. It's good against Niv, and then like there's some random times it's good. Like I said, I think the giant killers are good. I think Brutal Cathar kind of sucks. I don't even know. I'm not even convinced that like playing Thali's Lieutenant in a deck like this is good versus just going a more taxing route. But yeah, it's just like a pile of stuff. Like their curve is probably well configured, but I don't think this deck's good at all. It's sweet though. I'm sure you could win games with it. Like it's one of the appeals of Pioneer. I'm just slow rolling my opponent. Just savagely slow rolling them while I have the best hand I could possibly have. Whatever, I get a Graveside. Spellbinder might be better, but... I think I was getting Brutal Cathar there and just killing a Mana Source, because it potentially kills more if they have, like, Burning Tree or whatever. Okay, I want Redain. Is there a card? I guess Portable Hole is something I could play if I wanted to fight over elves. But it seemed to me that like the better play is just leaving all your elves and hope you draw better, kind of. Because you're sort of doing the same thing if you both just let each other elf. Like if you're portable holing versus elfing. Like the way to punish people is if you think there's going to be a lot of scenarios where people keep like 1-land or 2-land hands and they just don't have enough mana sources. But I think all the elf decks play enough mana sources that doesn't happen that often. Like old Winota did actually play like 20 to 22 lands depending. Okay, voice sucks. I think I want all of this shit. I'm just supposed to take out every voice? This combo seemed relevant last time we played against this deck because they have Cage. This also hits Cage, kills elves. This obviously hits all their big stuff. Brutal Cathar is good. Okay, so what do I not want? It could be this, and I just have no 2s. But it doesn't matter because my elves are going to live. I think that's fine. So, I mentioned it before. I think the plan is just turbo Winota them. So I think I'm mulliganing this hand. It's kind of close, but like Combat Celebrant just gets blocked by everything. If this Combat Celebrant was a Fable, maybe, but yeah, I think this hand's bad enough for me to mulligan it. Okay, I had to figure out my vision's not as good as it used to be. I had to figure out if I had a white land. This hand's very, very good. So these are all Gruul lands. I always forget you can just look at the bottom, but it's kind of brownish. Brutal Cathar again looking superb. Kind of interesting. Opponent's probably thinking, like, they don't need their elf because they're not going to use the mana this turn, but they're not sure if it's worth trading. I think since I'm just going to be Brutal Catharing, I could not. But, like, so this is Wolf Willow Haven. They go to 3 mana, and then they have 4. And then I go Innkeeper, so I don't have to Brutal Cathar right away. I get to Innkeeper into Winota, potentially. I think it might just be worth doing. Just because I have Innkeeper and no Winota. But I don't know. Yep. So now they're at most going to have 4 mana. I don't really know what they can't like Karn me, right? If I put a Grave Titan into play, I could probably just win here. Oh, they can Karn me. I'm a when I said they can't Karn me, I meant they couldn't Karn and get Cage. I didn't think about this. Fuck. Me. I should have made the other play, probably. Okay. This is very, very bad for me. I think I just lose now. So the alternative would be, the board state would be, I would have yeah, fuck me. So I would have Elf Cathar, and then I would play land. I could play Winota. It doesn't make a difference, actually. Because so the board state would be Cathar. They would have +1 mana, so they could have Karned minus for Cage. They wouldn't be plussing on the treasure. My Cathar could attack it for 2, it goes to 1. They still have the Cage, so I still get caged either way. That's nasty, though. Karn plus kill treasure. I fucking hate War of the Spark. What a piece of shit set. Okay, we're sad, and we're going to try to win, because we've kind of won from spots like this before, right? Yeah, in my brain, I was like, they can't cage me. They have 4 mana, so they can't Karn and get Cage. I forgot that they could just plus They didn't even need to plus, right? Because artifacts don't fucking work because great design. So this probably gets caged now. It gets to go to 3. I can Skyclave the cage and then attack this to 1 if I draw whites first. If they play a dude, I can just play Brutal Cathar. That's kind of scary, I guess. But they only have 2 devotion. Is there 4? Yeah, be a good cage. So probably just want to... that's kind of bad. Fuck. I don't know if this deck... Does this deck end up with 2 cages after board? Like, I could just Skyclave this. They have 179,000 mana, though, which is problematic, potentially. Maybe we just play a slow game. I could just go Cathar now and then go after this later. And I just beat up the Karn. I think getting this troll out of play with the Nykthos is really appealing. I have 2 cards left. I don't have that much mana. I have 5. Oh, yeah, God, why is this card so stupid? It just gets... Okay, you have a 5/6. And probably a gazillion mana. You got a forest. Okay, so if I draw a land... So we're at 5, we go to 6. So if I draw a land, I could Skyclave and Winota in the same turn. I can also sack my Brutal Cathar to kill the Karn, but they get a 4/4, which is obviously quite bad. The treasure doesn't even fucking make mana either because of Karn. Holy shit, fuck. I know my deck is just bullshit, but I hate Karn. So just play Winota, right? Could just pass. I think I just play Winota. TJ with the 34 goddamn months. That's like, I don't even, it's years. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, your turn. You have 100 mana. I think this is the only line that really makes sense, though. It also is somewhat appealing to leave the cage in play for the Storm, but I'm probably going to lose to a Storm anyway, I think. Yeah, it's crazy that this can just get anything for some reason. I don't really know why. Okay, you got it. So I can't cast the Storm from the graveyard. The thing that kind of sucks is, like, I do the Winota thing, it's probably not good enough, and then I just lose to them going over the top of me. But I likely have to do it regardless. So they just naturally have a Storm in their hand, I guess. What am I supposed to have for this matchup? Like, Knight of Autumn? Is that even good? Kind of. The fact that Karn can just get 2 cages is so fucking annoying. Yeah, if this deck's popular, the 4 Brutal Cathars makes so much more sense. I need to play this match. Like, I need to play Phoenix versus this deck and see if this deck actually beats Phoenix. Because it seems like it should be really bad versus it. Like, very bad. But I don't know. I think the Wolf Willow Havens are really good. Yeah, sure. Does this Meteor Golem blow up the Winota? God Pharaoh statue so I could just play the thing? I don't know how I'm winning, though. Like, I guess I just have to hit Brutal Cathar Grave Titan, exactly. Oh, yes, please. Oh, yes. Thank you so much. All right, land. Land is good. Land is really good. I only get one trigger if I don't hit land. Okay. I just have to hope things work out, I think. I think I'm still just dead. Okay, so let's do math. So 4 at your face. You block a Grave Titan. I've hit 2 Grave Titans. It's 10. It's only 14. I can send a Grave Titan after the Kiora so they don't have as much mana, but they're still going to have a billion mana. I think they all go face. I guess I'm attacking with Winota. Okay, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think this is supposed to go after Kiora. I'm not really sure. They get to go crazy, though. They might even be able to go infinite, actually. I don't really know how it works, but I know you can go infinite with, like, Karn and Devotion and shit. It's possible attacking with Winota was bad. 6, 7, 8. I think I'm kind of happy with how I played this game. Maybe the Winota attack was bad, but like they're just gonna storm and then find a Karn and they can get another cage, right? I think. It's my board's obviously insane. Okay. So good. I mean, they get to do more stuff, I guess. Probably they're hitting another Nick, though, right? There's no way they don't. Like a 10. That was a very good storm. Probably the best storm they could have. So they just keep storming. Yeah, that's so fucking... That's so lucky. They looked at 5 cards. They have 2 of these in play. God damn it, man. I guess I was probably losing... that's so annoying. Fuck. I control Winota again. Do they have another storm? They don't have another storm. I can't believe they didn't hit another one. They could just have one in their hand, I guess. Another Nick dice. Okay. They have 1 card left. I don't know what it is. Oh, they do have a storm. It's just hitting. Okay, we're fucking so dead. Oh. What a crazy game, though. So they could be at 14... So if I didn't attack with an Winota, they would be at 14 with an old growth troll. And I wouldn't have the Brutal Cathar. Okay, that one was obviously much worse, but it's just too late. If the cage is in play, they literally can't hit these, which is funny. But I think that was the turn I attacked with Winota. Like, I don't know if it gets better than that. So this is 5 blockers. Block. So the 2s are the biggest. Block, block, and then 2 here, so 10. So if they somehow put nothing into play, they're dead on board. Yes, I get it. Your deck is sick. Voracious Hydra, Storm the Festivals, Combo Breaker. So Hydra kills this. I have to draw Winota. I can play Winota off the elf. It's the only way I win. Yeah, it's just like I don't do like I'm dead. I lose on the board if I don't make this play. So I think I'm happy with how I played the game. I think the Winota attack's also fine. Like things just have to go very well for me, and they did, but they didn't go. They didn't go poorly enough for my opponent. Like Storm into double Cavalier was really disgusting. Like if they just hit like a 3-drop and lands or like whatever Oath, all that shit. Oh, man, I can concede, right? That just gets a cage. Now I don't have Winota's and out. Maybe they leave themselves dead. They have the Hydra, though. So Hydra for 10. Fight. Brutal Cathar. Get a 4/4. I want to pee. I'll be right back. Oh, what happened? Perfect time for a pee break. Nothing? Hello? Oh, they're going infinite or something? My opponent's deck. They got this foil forest. They got this foil Beseiju. They've got some old elves. Some full art trolls. So much variety. It's probably a rental deck. Okay. They didn't cage me. They didn't use the so the Vrage Hydra's gonna just gotta kill this, right? Does this even oh, okay, that's a lot of life. Maybe I can still win though. I don't know. I have to draw Winota, so. Am I supposed to take out a Winota? Okay, you get a 1/1. That was weird. They killed a non-human, I guess. Probably can't do lethal through 6/7 lifelinker. Yeah, attack me. 30. That's a lot. Brutal Cathar, though. Alright, Winota, please. I'll bump. Okay, I don't think my opponent played that very well, but... Alright, I'm on the play. Very, very good for me. I could do some really psychopathic shit and put like a red cat melee in my deck. I don't think I should. I'll just let him cage me. I think I want all the Winotas. Yep. I think I like this. Our nut draw is like Temple Garden or Mana Confluence into Skyclave Apparition too. So we've got some really good draws. That was quite boring though. At least my deck just kills things fast. I don't even know how much time my opponent spent doing whatever the fuck that was. I'm sure they could have done different stuff too. Like I don't. So what's the combo? You have to have like 2 Karns and some shit, and you get infinite mana. It's kind of close. Just need to draw Winota. Should lose to, like, the Cavalier, right? I feel like I should keep, though. Like, I have... I just need to draw Winota. I have all the mana. So I'm turn 1 elf, turn 2 innkeeper elf. Maybe I go to 5 because I just don't have Winota yet. And like my hand's slow enough that they could Karn Cage me. I have the Redain though, so it's 6. Yeah, I guess I'll keep. So we're going to go elf and innkeeper elf. And then if we miss, we just Redain. Maybe we'll just become a Phoenix gamer though. Just jam Phoenix until we decide it's not as good as I think it is. Then we'll get into 6. No turn 1 elf. Maybe they're just slow and we can just beat them with shitters. We have the lair. It's probably Haven. What? You have this for an old growth troll. It's like a plummet? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, I have no idea. They have to have a troll, right? So the Cathar was an awesome draw. It just lets me keep the pressure going. And then they can't really do anything in turn 4. Turn 5 is when... Oh, Jesus. Okay. Turn 5 is when they can play the 5/6, but we have another Cathar now. Probably kind of done. Unless this is like a really good turn for them. Maybe Elf into Haven. So they drew Haven and they drew Elf. Sure, that doesn't matter. Just increase this power. Their hand's still too slow. How much damage is this? 3, 6, 7, 8. They go to 4. I'm fairly certain that just playing Cathar is better than Huntmaster. I think they're just dead to everything here. Okay, they just had a really bad start. Our hand was pretty, maybe not good. Our hand was fine. Like, I do think Redain is a relevant card. And then we just had a million mana. I don't think they could have ever beaten the Grave Titan, but I think they had 0 outs if I played the Brutal Cathar. I don't know. They probably have 0 outs either way. GG. I don't even know what that Maze Event comment is in response to, because I never look at my chat because I'm the worst streamer ever, but... Gates is broken. Gates is the best deck. Everyone always comes in, what's the best deck in Pioneer? Gates. Tap lands. Only tap lands. That's the best strategy. Never loses. Like, actually thinking about Gates as a concept, like, I don't know what it's supposed to be good versus. So you have Gates Ablaze for aggro, which is like Supreme Verdict equivalent. Is it supposed to be good versus aggro? Like, you have all tap lands. It's terrible versus Narset, right? Because you just have that enchantment that doesn't do anything versus Narset. You have, like, the Ram to pressure it, but they can just, like, Lightning Axe it. I guess Gatebreaker Ram is okay versus the Days Undoing decks, but now some of them are playing Brazen Borrower. Oh, yeah, okay. Alright, first we'll become a Gates gamer, and then after that we'll spend 8 hours a day playing Phoenix. It'll be so much fun. Oof. You hate to see it. You love to see it. Hand is nice. My opponent doesn't have an elf. Turn 2 Spellbinder, turn 3 Chariot. What the fuck are my opponents keeping, man? You know mulliganing's broken, right? You know that shit is OP. Double Troll Kiora? Double Neck. Okay. Their hand's kind of crazy. I'll give you that. It's Kiora, right? So if they play Kiora, goes to 6. I can't even play the trolls. If they draw... they draw a forest here. I probably need Winota to win. Bro, what? What do you fucking mean? Hello? It's cheating. This costs 5 mana. Now they're gonna draw a card and I'm gonna die. Spellbinder was better than Cathar here, maybe. Could have just played the Celebrant instead, though. So I get to kill this Kiora, right? But then they have a bajillion mana. I could not break the troll. Wait, what? If they miss? This is so greedy, right? The fuck? What an insanely greedy play. They just had to hit an untapped green land. Yeah, it's just like the canister effect, right? It's kind of like Spike. It's just like a well-known, very good Magic player. Does well with the deck. People play it. I mean, it just makes sense. But I don't think that mono green is great. I do think that that is great. Okay, so we just did this. We did this, and we did this. And I think it stays the same player draw. Normally I consider things based off player draw, but I think the cards I have available just don't give me many options. I think this is probably the only real way to board. Maybe you could convince me that voice was good for reasons, but I think I like this. Yeah, I mean, so when the Pioneer announcement happened, it was like Winota and Mono Red exploded, and then people realized that those decks are not very good versus Blue Red. I think quickly, and I think people just weren't winning as much as they were hoping, and now people have moved on to Mono Green. I want to say there was like another deck that was just like really straightforward. Sounds pretty good actually. Okay. Definitely not a freebie or anything, but it's a double elf? Sure. Not blocking. You have 179 mana. Please don't have lands. Probably dead here just because they have so much mana on turn 2. They just have 6 mana on turn 2. It doesn't really matter that Redain. But maybe I don't have a land. And then it's relevant. Can't really beat a Karn though. Yeah, that hand was disgusting. Okay. That's not what I wanted. Okay. I attack you for 2 points. Like, they sort of just have to have nothing, right? So Storm costs 8. A land drop, they still can't cast it. Yeah, it's already 7 mana. Yeah. Like, so just based off of this hand alone, like, I don't see how you don't flood with this shit, right? There's so many fucking mana sources. Like, what if your opponent just thought seizes your thing? You just hope the top deck? Alright, well, we don't have Winota yet, so... Karn is the problem, though. I can kill it. Which actually just fucking rules. I have these Grave Titans, so maybe they just have nothing left. Okay. Do I play this Redain on the back? I mean, I guess. What's the likelihood this Redain dies? Pretty low. This also means that this does 3 damage to my chariot. The downside is my opponent has to read 7,000 words of text. And we have to sit here. But I think it's fine to play. Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate Caryatid, but I think the Haven... I think you'd rather just have Haven. Like, versus Blue-White, if you have Caryatid, it's a liability. People are going to board in their deal 3s versus you. So these all deal 1 damage. I'll take 3. So they can maybe Storm next turn and it'll probably lose. But if they don't have Storm, we're chilling. The Storm might miss, though. The Storm not being able to hit the 5/6 Reachers is so awkward for them. Yeah, maybe the Storm doesn't really matter because I just have Grave Titans. I think the Wolfsire value, it's basically irrelevant, but... Shit, they can't hit the Reacher. Like, they can hit Nissa, I guess? I don't really care about Nissa. Karn. I don't know if... Do I care about Karn? Kind of. It's annoying, but it's very beatable. Like, I think this is hugely relevant that you just can't hit your Reacher. They shouldn't have attacked with the 4/4 also, I don't think. But maybe it didn't matter because it was just chump. Yeah, I guess it's fine. So, like, what can they take here where I would be scared? Like, Nissa, Nykthos, and then what? They have nothing left. They don't do anything. They just make a 3/3. Okay, you got a Karn. They can't Nykthos, right? They're just dead on board. Block 6, block 2 takes... No, they're not dead. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do from this position. Like, they're gonna lose their Karn. They get a card. They have a lot of mana. They can't use the Storm, though. I'm gonna have another Grave Titan. Sky Sovereign, okay. It kills the Redain, but does that matter at all? Is this attacking? Probably. Doesn't matter. The Sky Sovereign. So this is lethal. So I get to steal one blocker for these. And then that means 2 go Karn. I think their blocks are right. So this guy's on for 7. Then they could like storm afterwards. Yep. So they can't even storm. I forgot about this. Actually triggered versus mono green. Let's go. Oh yeah, it doesn't even kill it. I forgot about both. My bad. I just kind of forgot this thing was in play because I didn't think it was going to be relevant. I was just thinking about the fact that it reduced their power. Okay. You have a lair. I attack you with my monsters. Alright, Redain backside OP confirmed. Don't, just, come on. Come on, be cool, just concede. Are they not dead on board? I kind of refuse to believe that, but it might be the case. I don't know what their out is. I just have like a billion things in play. Thank you for the follow. I think Gallic Readers from the new set, could he play on Winota? No, I do not. I think like the timing of it's just not worth having because you don't actually do like what you're trying to accomplish. Like what you're trying to accomplish with Innkeeper mostly is play Innkeeper, play Winota, trigger Winota. So you don't actually accomplish that. So I think it's worse than every other 2-drop that would just make a treasure straight up, like every other Wily Goblin. Like there's a card in the set that's like a briefcase or some shit. Or whatever. I guess I let my Redain die here. But no, I don't think like I started to build a deck in Pine, like I started to build an elf deck with that card, and even in the context of the elf deck, I wasn't super excited about it. It's an interesting card. It's probably better than I think it is, but I don't think it's great. Yep, you have a boat. Of course I want Spectrum. I don't know how my internet hasn't dropped any of the streams, which is insane. Because my internet was like so bad for so long. But KK, I was also thinking it was worse than Innkeeper, but saw some hype. Yeah, I think the people that think it will be good in Winota like don't really understand. Dude, come on. You made me go through all those triggers. Don't really understand exactly what you're trying to do. Okay, so another thing that's really important about Innkeeper is, especially in the post-board games, your opponent just loads up on removal, right? So their goal is to kill everything you play. They want to deny your mana advantage by killing your elves, and then they want to kill your Winotas. And what Innkeeper lets you do is just play Chariot. So, like, if your opponent's hand is 3 removal spells, Chariot is just going to fuck them up because, like, they have to use some of them on Chariot, and you get all this extra value. So having 4 mana on turn 3 to play Chariot is really appealing because it gives you a way to play around, like, all Doomblades. Where they kill your elf, okay, that's fine. You play Innkeeper, well, the Doomblade doesn't matter because you got the treasure. And then you play the Chariot, and now their Doomblades are just bad because you got 3 bodies for 1. But yeah. Innkeeper is just great. It doesn't look very good. I think it's really important. I don't know how many... I think the correct number of Innkeepers is 3 or 4. Like, if Innkeeper got unrestricted, I don't even know if I would play 5. You know, like, if I could play 20 Innkeepers, I think I would probably play 3 or 4, maybe 5, if I felt like the life gain was super relevant or whatever, but yeah. I think if Chariot wasn't a part of the deck, I don't even know if I would play Innkeeper, honestly. I might just play, like, a better 2-drop, just like a grindy card. But it's also really difficult to just race Innkeeper Chariot because you get to gain so much free life just from these 2 cards alone. So, like, decks like Spirits or whatever, you can actually just beat them by gaining life and attacking them with cats and cat cars. Okay, let's see if we can 5-0. So we have 3 4-1s with this deck. And if we lose, this will be our 4th 4-1, which is awesome. I'm not going to complain about that. And if we win, well, that's much better. Oh, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Hope you had a good stream. We're a 4-0 with Winota trying to get the trophy. Okay, so my title's kind of a lie. I didn't change it because I was lazy. Before we were playing, I have to go. I think if you go on the stream deck, you can see what we played before. I basically undid all of the fun and interesting things and just went back to a pretty stock version. But we had Werewolf Pack Leader, we had Questing Beast, and what was the other thing we had? Oh, we had, I don't even know the name of it. It's Graveyard Hate Wolf. We had Cemetery Prowler. And the pack leaders were pretty good. The Questing Beasts were okay. This card didn't seem worth to me. So we're just playing like regular Winota now, unfortunately. So you kind of got clickbaited. My bad, but hope you had a good stream. Thank you for the raid. All right. Keep. Oh, you're playing Winota too. Yep. I don't know. There's definitely things that are league decks. I'm fairly certain that, like, if you're gonna play in like a big tournament or challenges, Winota's not actually that good. Like, I don't want to. Like, I think part of the reason I'm working on this deck is I think that, it's not like exactly tier 0, tier 1. I think it's really bad versus the blue-red decks, and I'm trying to see if like I can end up beating those decks. But I think we're 1-1 on the night versus a blue-red deck, and I think the match that we won, we should have lost. But our opponent just didn't play that well. Okay. Well, my hand is insane. So if this is a Winota mirror, I'll take my side. I think. Versus no turn 1 elf. They might just Innkeeper Winota Grave Titan me, and I'll just die. And it's not even Winota. Okay, I have no idea what this is. Maybe Spirits? Yeah, okay. So we can just get Quellered. Alright, this is kind of nice, though, because now everything I play just gains me a bunch of life. I think we're just going to jam double Innkeeper. But if they just Queller me like 3 times, this game's very losable. Hopefully they just tap out. For just like some Lords or whatever. I feel like the deck needs more improvements on 2. Yeah, that's part of why I was trying the pack leader. And the pack leaders were pretty good. So many rough Brainstormless. Containment Breath, Dreams Magistrate, Ogre Hell Dumps. Yeah, I think Self of Spirit's a good one. Spirit of the Labyrinth. Like, that's a card I haven't played with, but it always just feels like it's going to die to shock, so. Yeah, I just think, like, if you're playing against people who have spent a bunch of time analyzing the meta and blah, blah, whatever, they're probably just going to be playing a deck with a bunch of shocks and lightning axe or Aether Gust and stuff like that after board. I think it can be tough to win. Okay, so I don't think I want to throw away the treasure. It's just a question of which would I rather get spell colored. I think it's Combat Celebrant. I might just let this resolve though. Like 100% of spell color. Are they gonna let an Innkeeper resolve here? Also, maybe. Such an annoying spot. It does hit for 4 at a time. I'm just gonna play it. I don't think I want to give this up just yet. Okay, I think we'll probably lose the second spell queller. What can I draw? It's gonna be a tough game. Like, even if they double Spirit here, they could double Spirit attack me for 4 and then tap both of these. Should draw a land then. Just dead in 2 hits. Have Queller 2? Looks like they have another Queller. Okay, I think I just have to go for it, and I think we're probably dead regardless, so. Yeah, I mean, damage is perfect, I think. Not too much I could do. I could have played Voice and then Innkeeper. And then I go to 8, and I just die. Okay. Another 4-1 incoming, Sag. Want all the removal. Do I want... I don't think any of these other cards really do anything. So Redain can mess with Collect a Company, which is actually relevant. It's also just a flyer. I want everything that kills creatures, I think. And potentially including Red Cap Melee, even though it's really, really bad. Or it's really costly. Voice is awesome. I think Spellbinder's good. Maybe I don't need to board in... Like, maybe I have enough good cards that I don't need Redain. I could just have 1 Red Cap Melee. Like, I think I'm going to be able to have functional hands where I can... Like, Stone Rain myself once. Double Stone Rain myself is going to kind of suck. But being able to kill Spell Queller for 1 mana is worth so much that... I think I'm going to try 1. And I think I want all the elves. So what the hell are we boarding out? Could just be Chariot. I could just have actual 0 chariots. Could be like this. I actually don't know what they're going to board in versus me. Gates of Blaze. Do you guys think I want the second melee? I'm fairly confident I want the first one. Is Redain better than I'm giving it credit for? I don't think so. Like, it gets outscaled really quickly. If they have a hand that's a bunch of companies, it's really good, but... Gust and Portable Hole, okay. I don't think that means I want these. See, I think the only change I could make is maybe having Red Cat Melee over one of these cards, but I don't know which one I would board out. I think I I think I want all the elves. So it would be like maybe Red Cap over Innkeeper. Having Red Cap on the draw is such a weird thing. Because like the removal spells get better when you're up a card. But I'm destroying a land and going second. This is kind of close. So they just Portable Hole me. I think I'm going to keep this hand. Maybe it's too slow. We probably will just get clowned by like a super aggressive draw. But I have Spellbinder to buy me time. It's probably going to be able to trade for something. Getting the voice into play is appealing. It needs some help. That doesn't really count. Although we are closer to casting our Gravetide. Yeah, Containment Priest was one thing I was thinking about that like maybe they would have to get me with. I know no one puts Containment Priest in their Collect Company deck, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Okay, well, let's not draw a land for the rest of the game, please and thank you. I think that would be wonderful. Another matchup where Brutal Cathar is awesome. March? What the fuck? God, their hand is nasty, man. Just take an Eagle? And then they march this voice, and then they have Spellcaller the rest of the game. I'm just probably going to die in the air. So they could play Selfless Spirit, and then I trade this for the Selfless Spirit. They could Selfless Spirit and Spellcaller, and then I can't even block. Okay, so let's not look at their hand. Let's look at my draw steps. What the fuck do I need to draw to win this game? I don't have Chariot. This is a spot where Chariot would actually be pretty good if I took the Queller. I could just draw Winota, and maybe they don't play the Eagle. So I could just take the Queller. And that way I can try to block this, and just trade it for the Selfless Spirit. I think I'm okay with this. Just gonna, like, this card is so powerful. I think this is one of the best cards in their deck. My voice is also really good, but like, we're making an exchange in which we're both trading high value cards, and I'm getting an XX out of it. I took Queller, right? That's actually a decent draw. What the fuck is going on? What is their turn? So weird. So I'm probably going to play this and then get this marched. And then be super ahead on the board. I would have had to have drawn a Gust. And even then I could just play it again next turn. Well, we stopped drawing lands, so that's good. I think I'm fine with just trading this. I don't know. I think they're dead. I don't think it really matters what I do. I don't know why I wouldn't want to trade. They just get blocks where they get to indestructible a thing next turn if I don't. So I don't think my 3-1 is getting that much better than trading with some flyer. Got my health. Okay, let's attack and then just flip our thing. It's a good block. Because they just end up taking 2 more damage the other way. Let's play a green land, I guess. I should have played the red land on green. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But I could draw a white spell. Alright, game 3. Game 3 for the trophy. Okay, did they have anything that was even notable? March. I don't think that changes any of my decisions. Like, okay, so here, the only note about March is that safekeeping is probably going to be pretty good versus it, because it's something they sort of want to wait to play, assuming that they're not like full of extra resources. So if they spend like 5 mana or something on a March and I get to safekeeping, it's awesome. But I don't think it's worth doing. Like, that exchange specifically is good, but safekeeping doesn't do anything versus any of the other cards. So I think I'm just running it back. It's going to be a lot harder to win on the draw, but I still have elves in my deck, and they have to have portable hole or whatever. I'm just thinking about this red cap. That's the only thing, really. Like, I could potentially just take out a combat celebrant and add the red cap melee. But I think it just leads to some non-functional draws, so whatever. Well, there's the one. I think this is a mulligan. It just like, this is a Nambo, obviously. This is kind of like exactly what I don't want. I just want to have a hand that is elf into stuff. But I think I have to keep this, so we will. I doubt I'm going to get to do this combo. The Mana Confluence also hurts a lot. This shit just sucks. I hate this card. So I'm just thinking. So it's these two, right? I want to keep Innkeeper. I want to keep Winota. I want to keep lands. I want to keep removal. So if I go like Innkeeper into Apparition, what do I want to have later? It goes at the bottom of the deck, so it doesn't really matter. It's a human. I think Fail's better. But like this might be better on like turn 5 or whatever, where I just have like this somewhat relevant board state, and they have to respect me just killing them because I get extra combats. This finds Rending Volley though, so I think that means it's higher value. But it's pretty likely my curve is just going to be Innkeeper, Apparition, Winota. So maybe it doesn't make a difference. Not loving our chances. They kept 7. So, classic. Classic Scrybug. Okay. It's probably... Ooh. I think I'm just jamming this and assuming my next card is a land. Because if I play the Innkeeper, it's kind of bad versus Queller if I end up using the mana. Whereas if I draw the land, this is actually really good versus... Not really good. It's good versus Queller. I'll probably still just die if they have Spell Queller. That's not that bad. I still need a land, but... I can just get a board stat. Okay. So I think I'm supposed to Innkeeper. Maybe not. What's the other line? Sorry, not Innkeeper. Skyclave Apparition. And just punish them for tapping out. Just have to hope they tap out again. And then hope I top deck a land. If I don't, I'm probably playing Fable. It's the same thing. Like, this is Spirits literally beats every deck this way. It's like shit, 2 Spell Callers. That's it. Literally you go thing, two Spell Callers, and they just die. The other plan is Company, but a lot of times the Company involves Spell Caller. But yeah, I can see this being a bad matchup because we don't have that much removal. Like, one of the best ways to beat Spirits is just like cast Fatal Push a bunch. Okay, I kind of want to just jam Winota. I feel like it might be my best chance of winning is just them to company and not hitting a spell queller. Like, I'm not doing that much more that's relevant. And if they don't have company or spell queller, or if they don't have a spell queller, I potentially just win the game by hitting like double Grave Titan. So I think I'm going to do that. Don't think it really matters what I play this on. So it's a removal spell, which isn't the worst for me. I think I'm okay with this exchange. It's not like the Winota is getting that much better. So they have to do 3 mana if they're just going to pitch 1 card. They could still have company, I guess. I think this attack's fine. They could have the 1-drop. It gets super blown out. I kind of get blown out. Okay, so now the game plan is probably play towards this. Don't have company. Just don't. Okay. That's kind of bad for me, but it's not a company. I take 1, you have 1 card. Okay. Your board is big-ish. So now we're in a spot where it's just kind of who top decks better. I think they're favored. Yeah, that's something. I guess it only... it's not that bad, actually. It's not buffing spirits, it's buffing flyers. What the fuck? This seems great for me. Okay, I take 5. Have like a trick here? I guess I could have another march and I just get sort of bound. I think I have to make this block. I don't think it's that like them beating another march. Why would they kill that? What the fuck? That all just happened. Okay. So we're just gonna die if we don't find Winota. I think the Kiki's gonna be too late. Likely. Okay. Fuck. It's so close. I just have to draw Winota. Self's free. Can't kill him though. It's 5, 6, 7, 14. I mean, if they alpha, I guess I could kill him. That's probably relevant. This is a pretty insane game. Yep. Think we're dead. It's so close, man. Control removal spell. So this hits like this. It's most power. That makes sense too, I guess. Sure. Holy shit. Okay, let's just do the math to make sure I can't, like, kill them this turn. So it's just going to be 5, 6. So blocking... So I could kill this. So I just need to kill this. This is 1. This is 4. So they could just draw Spirit Lord and I die. But then next turn this isn't summoning 6. So I have to draw a way to kill this. So I need this to live. Okay, so what if I attack with my 3/3? They block with their 3/3. I kill this. They lose this. So I should do this on my turn anyway. So I should try to, like, bait them into making a bad block. Which I guess also involves this attacking. I need this to live. And I need this to live. So if I attack with both of these, how could they block where I get fucked over? Okay, what if they just block here and then the ground guy matters? Like, this is highest blowout potential, right? Because this blocks. Just take 3. Okay, they need to not draw a Lord. They could kill the elf, but maybe I just have enough damage on board. Woo! We did it! I'm no 4-1 master. I'm a 4-1 sometimes 5-0 master. Alright, we drew the 1 of red cap melee I boarded and 1 because of it. That was pretty lucky. That game could have gone either way. That game was pretty nuts. I don't know. This deck's kind of boring, but maybe people care. Get our clout. Okay. So, what do we think? So, we went 9-1 tonight. We went 4-1 with Funky Winota. We went 5-0 with less funky Combat Celebrant Winota. I think the Combat Celebrants have remained good. So, we're 17-3 with Winota. This was our first league with 2 Combat Celebrants. We went 5-0. So, maybe Combat Celebrant is good. It looked pretty good in the games we played, but I still think that, like, versus the important matchups, it's not a very good card, but it looks like less people are playing blue-white, and more people are playing green decks, so it might be a thing where, like, when you sit down and decide you're going to play in a challenge, you're just like, okay, maybe I'm not going to play Brutal Cathar this week. It might be similar to the Thing in the Ice thing, where you're just like, all right, my Thing in the Ices aren't worth it. They don't enable my delve well enough, and they just die some of the time. They're awkward. It might be the same with Brutal Cathar, where it's like, okay, well, people aren't playing Old Growth Troll. People are playing with more shocks. People are playing a bunch of mono red and blue red. I'm not going to play with Brutal Cathar, but I would say I'll admit when I'm wrong. I would say that you should have some Brutal Cathars in your deck, at least for the leagues. Like, they were good for me. I'm not sold on 4, but maybe I'll come around eventually. But yeah, I think this overall shell is good. Like, the flexible stuff is these lands. I like 23 lands a lot, especially for playing 4 Fables. I stand by 7 Elves. I don't really have the exact data to prove that I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm willing to be wrong always. But Voice is medium. I kind of like having 3, though. I think all of this stuff you should play. I think these are the flex spots. I think, like, this core mana base is really good. I don't want to play 4 mana Confluence. You're not getting me to do it. It won't happen. But yeah, I think you should probably play all these cards. Maybe Fable is more flex than I'm giving credit to, but Winota is good. It's at least good in the leagues. I still think it's just bad versus blue red. I think blue red's the best deck. I keep saying this, but it's just like, it's this broken deck that is just bad versus what I think is the best deck. But it's just so obscene versus other decks. Like, if you don't play against blue-red, it's just so, like, Winota is such an unbelievably fucked up broken card. Like, such a terrible design, my god. What a poorly made Magic card. In regards to the sideboard, we didn't play against red. We didn't play against, like, black-red. We didn't play against mono-red, so these haven't looked great. We did play against blue-white. I think that's where they mostly come in. I think this covers enough matchups that maybe it's worth having the sideboard space for, but I liked having the Redains. They're not great versus mono-green, but it's nice to be able to have something to board in. Skyclaves are sort of whatever. I don't know what the sideboard's supposed to look like. I kind of just don't like anyone's sideboard. All my sideboards are always not great, but like this stuff seems worth having. Maybe you just switch between the number of running volleys and shit. Deafening Silence is just like whatever. I've played against Deafening Silence with Phoenix. It's just not that bad. I don't know what the fuck your sideboard's supposed to look like versus Phoenix. That deck's just so goddamn good. But for now, this is the plan. It's just this stuff. And I still not sold. And then we added the third Skyclave Apparition so we would have more answers for Thing in the Ice. But yeah, I think this list is solid. I don't think I've solved it. I don't think I'm there yet. I don't really know exactly what you're supposed to do. I feel like if a really good Phoenix player, like someone who'd been playing Pioneer the whole time and is really good and understands Phoenix, like worked on this deck, maybe they could figure out how it's supposed to be built and what the plan should look like. Because I think if you can make your Phoenix matchup better, or just like your Expressive Iteration deck matchup better,